Yo, yo, what it do, people? People of the world. It's the Bro Foundation. We back.
Sir.
As the brother here said, we got the band back together. You know, everybody is present and accounted for. You
Yeah,
know, so shout out to the
we
brothers.
here.
You know,
We
and
here.
said we understand. Life happens. Um, but we definitely glad to have the whole squad back, so we can continue to bring that ruckus. What the Wu say? Bring the ruckus. Bring the fucking ruckus. We bring that heat, right? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, it's good to see everybody back in the fold. How's everybody living today?
Good
Blessed.
day, man. It's Friday, brother. Good day. Good day.
Freaky Friday. Been a beautiful day.
Sir, hold on. See,
I
that's a little
agree,
too
man. A
bright.
good one.
Brother hand feeling good, back healthy again.
Well, yeah. I'm firing on a few more cylinders than I was a couple of weeks ago. It's still floating around. It kind of knock on the door, let you know I'm still around, but
Yeah, he's
kid, all
still
right.
here. Huh? Yeah, but
I'm still here.
push past that. That's right. Cole back with us, holding it down from the JO. You know what I mean? Different jobs and stuff, but like I said, you back in with us too. That's what we do, man. Like we keep it real here, of course. You know what I mean? Like we understand that, even though people might not understand, but life happens, man. Like we always continue to say, man, life happens, and until we own our time, we gotta abide by life's whims and understand that hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. You know what I mean? We gotta make that bread. It's like Jerome Bettis used to wake. He's got time to make the donuts. You know what I'm saying? Time to make the donuts. So when it's time to make the donuts, you gotta make that dough. You gotta go and but yeah, man. So we just glad to have everybody back. But we gonna get right into it. Appreciate everybody continue to tap in and support, watch the videos. But yeah, we're just gonna get right back into it. Another great topic I feel we got today. You know, especially us as Americans, man, as an American society, we have a tendency of overindulging in a lot of different things, man. Like it's almost like the America is the land of gluttony. The land of where if you can do any and everything that you want to the 10th power, and it's almost praised. Like, yeah, do it all. You got food, all you can eat buffets. I mean, you got all you can eat buffets everywhere. You know, what else? Sex. You know, porn everywhere, all day, every day. You know what I mean? It's you know, it's all out there. Overspending when it comes to, like I said, food, fashion, clothes, whatever. Overindulging is almost like it's greed, if you will. You know what I mean? Like greed is a part of American structure. I'm part of what we are made of. But today we want to talk about it, man. Today, like I said, it's something we haven't talked about. Well, today we want to talk about it. And the importance to of not overindulging. It's it can be easy to do when you got so much stuff placed in front of you and you really have nobody telling you should do anything different. You know, we all know that it's good to be moderate when it comes to a lot of things. Moderation is highly important. But like I said, man, America is like the land of overindulgence. You know, sensory overload. Right? Do you want to do it? Go do it. Nobody's stopping you. But that's not the healthiest thing. When at the end of the day. Um, so you want to make sure if you are overindulging, that it's something that is healthy, that is something beneficial to you and to your family. You know what I mean? So, like I said, we just want to talk about the I guess you would say the pros and cons of overindulging in current society and you know how we live, you know, in this day and age. So, yeah, what's your guys' take on when it comes, like I said, when it comes to overindulging? You know, what's that? In a sense, I guess we can start it. What's that mean to you? Whoever wants to start it off.
Overindulging. Uh, Overindulging, bro. When I thought about this, um, I usually look at myself first, and the thing is, it's like I was thinking about it because I was like, everybody has some type of vice. Everybody has some type of addiction that you may struggle with, or you might not be aware that you're struggling with it. You know what I'm saying? Until you sit down and you think about it. And that might be shopping. But for me, it's more about health. Uh, I can get better as far as like in overindulging inside of food, you know, and like sometimes people go through things, and some people is an emotional eater. Some people are just greedy. Some people could just be greedy, and you just knowing that, you know, that everybody know what they do. But food for me is like something that I had to like slow down on, because, you know, I understand what it does to my body. So the overindulge part is like, will I listen to my body, or will I listen to, or be disciplined about that moderation, like you said, like, you know, having things in moderation. And a lot of us, moderation is every day, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, and you can tell yourself that every time, like you go to the fast food line, and it's like, oh, you know, it's moderation. But how many times you gonna say moderation until it's like, nah, bro, you actually, you have an issue, right? And let's get to the point where you don't have to have a doctor or someone to tell you or diagnose you with something that you can be disciplined about. And that's what something that I wanted to get more advanced with, because the peer pressure that's around us is what everybody else is doing, right? So and so doing this, so and so going over here, they're going over here for lunch, they're doing that. And that's kind of like what my issue come in at, because we all go as a group. Everybody go for lunch as a group. Now, some people, they'll bring their lunch and everything, and they go warm it up, and they come sit down at the table with everybody. So that also can be costly, right? So if you don't watch it, you got two things that you got to deal with. You got to deal with your overindulge in eating and overindulging in spending. You know what I'm saying? So like you can be caught up in that situation where it's like, damn, you know, like I got like a double head sword going on, you know? So I can get better as far as like, okay, meal prepping. That's one of the key things that can help, you know, like the overindulging is like meal prepping and packing your food. I like to do it on Sundays, and then kind of like space it out through the rest of the week, you know, and then you can meal prep, and you already, because if you know that in your mind that you have something in the refrigerator for your dinner, let's just say per se. And that means like, you know, you can pass all these fast food places because you know that you got something at the house. And where I fall short at is like, okay, I don't have nothing at the house cooked, or I don't feel like cooking. I just got off from a long day. Let me stop at one of these places, you know? So how can I discipline myself is all about sitting down and think about how can you calculate what you can do better to, like, you know, inform with your time. So it's just like a double-edged sword for me. Like I said, man, it's just like spending and having that greed of like, I know that I could do better as far as like, okay, preparing myself for not to be overindulging in what I overindulge in, so I can prepare myself better. So
Yeah. Okay. Um, to start off with, Tyrus, you kind of you touched on a few topics, and those are, I guess, are clear indications of, you know, people where they overindulge. Be it, the TV, the porn, social media, all those things where you just pour so much time into, and not to say that anything's wrong with anything modulated, but obviously too much of anything is not good for you. One of Cat Williams' special, he's like, aspirin to cure a headache, but take 10 of them, that'll be your last headache.
Last headache.
That's clearly a case of overindulgence. But what you have to keep in mind is there's so many indicators of when you get to the point of overindulgence. So, to take an easy one, I'm not even going to deal with drugs, gambling, and food, because there's obvious effects of those when you overindulge. Drugs, your lifestyle is probably going to change and probably going to diminish way to the worse. Gambling, the same thing. Food, either it's going to be gain weight or health complications or a combination of the both. But those are those clear, when you go wrong, everybody around But it's the simple stuff, I guess, that really speaks out to me that we don't realize what we overindulge in. So, an easy one on the other side of that line would be, say, porn. Somebody who watches it, it has its place, where it is. And if that's what you choose to do, that's just what you choose to do. But when you find yourself where at one point in time where you say you started it and you were done watching it, say in the next 10, 15 minutes, but now you find yourself where you watching it for hours and hours and hours, where you watching for a particular, so you've got to the point where you just completely desensitized from the act itself. It has to be something that gets you to the point where you're done watching it. I use that phrase to kind of, paint it in a better picture than, really what it is. Social media has the exact same thing, where you might have only had like a couple friends where you were in contact with, or a couple pages that you followed on social media. And whenever you went back, it was just, a couple a couple notifications from whatever that is. But over time, you start building more and more. So instead of going back and checking on them 2 or 3 friends that you knew, now you're just scrolling mindlessly, endlessly. You're just pouring time into it day after day after day. Every waking moment that you get, every free moment that you get, you're going to see what's up. Some of that is on us, because a huge part of it, you have to be able to discipline yourself. You cannot depend on anybody else to do anything for you. It has to start with self first. But what you got to understand is the way a lot of things that we deal with and we come into contact with, the marketing behind it is so that it preys on that overindulgence in you, because they already know it's a slippery slope. You can walk in the grocery store, if we go, take it to a food level, you can walk to the grocery store down the chip aisle and you can see 2 or 3 brand names, just plain potato chips. And then you can see a store brand, and you see several off brands. Hell, it's the same damn potato. But everybody knows that once they put it out there, they have to fight for your attention over what the leading brand is. So they have to offer something differently, be it a brightly packaged deal or whatever it is. But it all comes down to the same thing. They're preying on your overindulgence, because you can't, discipline yourself. So what you have to keep in mind with things, everything done in moderation is good, but anything done excessively can be bad for you. As of recently, I think this week I heard of a bodybuilder, and I cannot remember his name right now to save my life, but passed away from a heart attack, and dude was huge. He was cut. Didn't look like he had any fat on him. So, and not to say that he overindulged in working out, but I'm starting to see and hear about a lot of people who are working out, who seem like they should be fit as a horse, having these ailments that I'm supposed to have because I'm not going to the gym, because I'm not eating right, because I'm not taking care of myself. So really, what's the difference? Is there any difference other than possibly them overindulging in whatever it is to help fuel that lifestyle? So you have to keep in mind of anything that you want to do and are doing, you have to modulate it. You can't go to the extremes of one way or the other. For what it, all intents and purposes, right in the middle of the lane, or as they say, keeping it between the ditches is where you need to be. Because anytime you get closer to overindulgence,
Fine, yeah.
you know, you still got consequences that's coming. So,
Oh, that's that's kind of where my head was at with it. With what you just got done finished saying, Henry. Like a lot of the indulgence is done kind of endlessly and aimlessly because it's so repetitive. And for me, it's more of the mental aspect of the indulgence that I connect with because we're not as in tune with ourselves as much as we used to be. You know what I mean? Like think about the way that we consume things. It's poured in us way more than we ever had it when we was growing up. I know for all of us probably we were when we used to play outside. Outside was the benefit. Being outside was something you wanted to do. So nothing other than that was kind of like something we consumed in. We had a regular routine. Now it's not so more of us being outside, indulgent and just being kids when we grow up. Now the indulgence that we have because of the advancement of technology, now we have these devices that we are on, the iPads, tablets, watches, whatever, streaming devices, streaming networks. So now not only do we, we can, like y'all both said, indulge into the food aspect of it, now on the mental health side of it, we're overindulgent, which is of course the base root and the controller factor of all of those then choices that we make. So it's just like again, we can overstand that we indulge a lot and there's things to indulge in. But for me it's like why are we indulging so much? What is causing those triggers in our body that then makes us do what we do? And for me, that's kind of like when I think of overindulging in something, I also think of being overstimulated. And we have so much power and access to information now, regardless if we want it or not. It's kind of in our face, so it makes us not really necessarily wanting to able to indulge into what, like y'all said, whatever we decide to do. So I think like on a subconscious level, every day that you wake up, you have a choice to make. And that choice is to do A or B. Because we are people of habits, a lot of the times we wake up and go A every time because it's just what we do. But again, you have to understand first that you always had an option. You always had a choice to do said A or B. And who's to say? Because again, the more you open your mind, the more you realize that it's not just A and B. You have multiple choices in this thing called life. So when we indulge, it could be a good thing. You can overindulge into books. You feel me? And that's now, of course, opening up the consciousness to now maybe dim it down so it's not all you do. But you can overindulge in a good way with books. You can maybe eat a lot of healthy food. That's good. But as Henry said, you have to still have moderations because you have to have balance. And to have balance, you got to know that there's a scale that you stand on. And the more you go one way, the harder you want to realize that there's another side because you don't know how to balance yourself and stay in the middle. So for me, I think that's, that's my perspective of overindulgence and overstimulated.
Gosh, man, y'all hit on a lot of great points, man. Like it's, and like I said from the beginning, man, you know, like we live in a society where it's almost looked at as a good thing to overindulge, right? Like it's almost looked at like, oh, everything, whatever's at your fingertips, you know, go for it, do it, you know, eat it, smoke it, drink it, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, don't limit yourself, you know. But how healthy is that? You know, how good is that really for you? It's not really good. You know, at the end of the day, when you look at it, right? A couple things that was kind of said, you know, like you said, Jess, you know, meal prepping, man. Like you gotta find, because it's so easy to get off track, especially when it comes to food. Like food is the easiest to get off track on because there's so there. That's like the one thing that is popular amongst, like there's no really there's no taboo area when it comes to food, really, right? Food is like you can turn on the TV, you can turn on your social media, you can turn on any and everything, and there's going to be something related to food, something to getting you to to eat. You know what I mean? To eat whatever they're serving up. And that's why it's important to do meal prep. You know, because like you said, it's gonna save you money, and at the same time, it's gonna protect you. Like I said, whatever goals you're trying to go after for, you know, if it's, you know, losing weight or, you know, whatever you're going after. If it's, you know, you're trying to protect your heart, you know, whatever goals you're trying to achieve, that proper meal prepping is going to, in a sense, keep that, you know, in line for you. Also, like I, you know, for instance, I just started doing the those like I said, those factor meals, you know, some of those meal prep services that, you know, I've been able to not have to worry about what I'm gonna eat when I get home, because I know I got a fridge full of meals that I can go right to, and and boom, I'm taken care of. I'm good, you know. But I'm not gonna say it hasn't been trying, right? Like there'll be times I might want a good burger, or I might want some, you know what I mean, some catfish. I might want some chicken or something, you know what I mean. And there'll be times when it's like, you know what, I'm a get, it's going, but it's outside of that prepared meal, and that's me overindulging when I know I don't need to overindulge in that factor, you know, in that manner. You know what I mean? Like I got, you know, just like when we kids, you know, parents would always say, "No, we got food at home. You can't go. We can't go to McDonald's. We can't go to Burger King. We can't go here. We got food at home." You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things that I gotta tell myself like, nah, you know what? You got those meals at the house, you know, because as soon as I pop one in and finish eating, I won't even be thinking about that other food no more, right? So it's a matter of me taking that discipline and prepping that, you know, putting it in the microwave or in the oven or whatever, and eating that. And then once I'm done eating that, I'm like, okay, cool. I don't even gotta worry. I don't even want that Carl's Jr. burger no more. I don't want that, you know what I'm saying, that Popeyes no more, you know, because I allowed myself to do what's necessary, get home, and that all comes down to discipline, right? That all comes down to discipline. So you got to make sure you know, you got to keep your discipline on point. Henry, you spoke on something now that's real, man. Like a couple things, bro. Like the fact that porn and everything is so prevalent in today's society. That in and of itself is overindulging, right? Like I just seen something today that says, and I don't know if y'all seen this, but if you didn't, it's pretty head bust. It's crazy. All the OnlyFans creators in 2023, and all the OnlyFans creators made more than the entire NBA
The
in
NBA
NBA's
player.
payroll in
Yeah.
2023, right? So in
Crazy.
2023, the OnlyFans creators made 6.6 million. No, excuse me, 6.6 billion.
Billion.
They made $6.6 billion in 2023. And the NBA, I think they made 4.9 billion in
4.9.
2023.
Yeah.
Their entire, their salaries and all that combined. Now, granted, there's not as many NBA players as there are OnlyFans creators, but we know some 4.9 billion is not a small number. And you figure there's okay, so 12, maybe 15 players at max. You got the three, whatever. Typically, you got 12 players per team, 32 teams, or 30 teams. It's 30 teams, right, in the NBA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 30 teams. But $4.9 billion is not a small number. OnlyFans creators made 6.6 billion. So almost close to 2 billion more than the NBA, than all the NBA stars. That in and of itself, that's overindulging right there. That's a lot of porn content. I mean, of course, there's a couple. There's not everyone on OnlyFans isn't doing porn, but it's probably going to be 95, 98% that are, right? There's a small number of people that are OnlyFans that aren't doing porn. That's overindulging right there, man. That's a lot. That's a lot. Cats seeing, you know what I mean? Some nice titties, or the fat booty or whatever. And here, take my money. Take my money. Take my money, right? Like not having the ability to say, you know what, nah, hey. And a lot of cats is going broke. A lot of cats can't pay their bills because they're paying so much on OnlyFans. Right? Like that's crazy. That's crazy to even think about. That's just wild to even think about. Like, and not to even mention like some of these OnlyFans creators shouldn't even have OnlyFans, right? Like, what are we talking about? We ain't gonna. That's a whole another topic anyway. But it's just crazy. Like, so that in and of itself, that's overindulgence, right? To a large degree. And then like we were talking about when you go down to, you had to choose a chip aisle. I ain't gonna, it is what it is. but but it's like
I didn't think about that.
I see it all day, every day, though, right? Like they're playing on the overindulgence. Buy 2, get 3 free. You buy 4 to get you got to get the bag for $1.99. You got to buy multiples of 4. Like, who's eating all that? Like, and people don't. You might not even need to eat all, but it's like you see the deal, and it's gonna make you what? Overindulge, because you see that deal. You see the fact that it's talking about if you buy 2, you go the same with soda. You know what I mean? Like you buy 2 12 packs and you get 3 12 packs for free. Who the needs all that soda, bro? Who needs all them chips? Who needs all that? Nobody does. But you see that deal, and it's like, well, damn. If I don't get it now, I don't know when they're gonna bring the deal back. So I might as well get it now. And you're gonna go buy 12 packs. You're gonna go buy 6 bags of chips, the big bags of chips. You ain't talking about the little joint, the big bags, right? That's overindulgent. When and because you have it there, typically that's like what Big Boy from Outkast, when he's like, should have copped the ounce, but you copped the dub, right? Yeah, you might have should have copped the ounce when you copped the dub, but it's all about portion control too. At the same time, like I remember I was at work one time and a dude asked me, "Who buys those little $2 for $1 bags of chips? Like who buys those? Like do those even sell?" I was like, "Yeah, they sell. I mean, it's a matter of portion control, right?" He was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. Because if you have it, you go you're gonna eat it, you're gonna drink it, you're gonna smoke it, you're gonna, you know what I mean? So it's like sometimes you have to go with that smaller portion just so you don't overeat, over smoke, over drink, you know? Like that's what it's for. You know, like I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. Like a lot of times, I and I don't drink ridiculously, right? I have a good drink after I get off work and take the edge off. I don't drink to get drunk, but a lot of times I'll buy the bigger, like the half gallon one as opposed to just the fifth, just to make sure, because I know if I know I'm going to drink it, I might as well save, quote unquote, and buy the bigger one as opposed to buying the smaller one and then I'm back at the store X amount of days later. But it's at the same time, you still got to be able to constantly say, okay, how can I portion this out? How can I make sure that I don't overindulge in this? Just because if I have it there, I'm going to drink it. I'm going to eat it. You're going to do it. So it's highly important, man, to do that, man. So yeah, man, we just live in that society to where overindulging is a thing. Like it's part of our culture, but it's up to us to make sure that we aren't allowing the things that we see on TV and social media and wherever else dictate and control what we know is right for us. Because at the end of the day, it's not on them. It's on us. They might be forcing it down our throats. That might be, they're saying we might see all kind of crazy different food stuffs, ideas, and it's like, oh man, sensory. Oh, I want that, but you gotta have that strength and say, nah, that's not good for me. I can't do it, and do what's right for you, because it is difficult, to say the least, but you still got to be able to say, nah, man, I can't do that. I gotta do what's right. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure that I'm not, I gotta portion out my meals. I gotta portion out. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta limit my online social media watching. You know what I mean? I gotta limit the twerk videos. You know what I'm saying? Like too many twerk videos, and it's you looking at that OnlyFans account and seeing how much it costs for her monthly subscription, and then it's over. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, it's important to make sure that we maintain that control, because it's easy to get out of hand. So,
but overindulgence, that's the American way.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what we selling. I don't see a whole lot of music videos, period. But and by that same token, follow that same thought. I don't see a lot of international rappers. And I say all that to say I don't see anybody from Dubai, Egypt, Germany, or London with stacks of money up by their ear. I don't see them. I see that here because that's the goal that a lot of us set for ourselves. Rich into excess, not enough for you to survive, but to have that ridiculous mansion. It's just you, but you got 47 bedrooms. Who the hell you got staying? But it just look good. It makes you look good. It makes you look successful. Car dealerships all over the place, and it ain't selling like the Econo boxes just to get you from A to B. It's to get you to A to Z in class. And forget the ridiculous amount that it costs. It's just a matter of as Kanye said, just to, I spent $1 million just to show you ain't up on this. That all that's are symptoms of that overindulgence. And I think just to, you know, show to everybody else how successful you are. Now, and I want to pause for a second. When you're talking about the OnlyFans, it ain't even just OnlyFans, and it ain't even, you know, full out nudity. Like,
Right.
imagine this scenario. It's totally. I don't have any, you know, any proof found in this. It's just from my observations. During COVID, I got into gaming a little bit. Hell, I had all this spare time in my hand. And from that, I got on Twitch, which is it's a gaming
Streaming, yeah.
site as well as, you know, other people got other stuff going on. It's almost like a YouTube for gamers. Well, after getting in there and kind of, you know, scrolling around, looking around at the place, you know, not only at the games that I was playing, I stumbled into other places where people were just chatting, and you would see stuff like it might be a model that, you know, done had some enhancements done, some work done, that has a kiddie swimming pool in her apartment. And she's in a bikini and she's getting in this pool with a little flotation device. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But you have people that subscribing to it and tipping her, and the sound that you would hear, it sounds like, you know, little kids bail on a bicycle. But hell, it sounds like a gang of kids on bicycles when it would go off.
Bling, bling, bling,
and the only
bling,
thing
bling,
she would do would just come out and just change into a different. Exactly. But now, on the other side of that ring, you could very well have somebody who, you know, during COVID learned investing. They learn different ways or apply their money in different ways, where now they have this overabundance of money and no guardrails and no name for it. So, hell, I'm just going to blow it on this chick, you know, dressing up that I'm looking at on TV. Never have a chance to meet. Like, if people who made money and, you know, developed all this COVID wealth, they ain't necessarily had to get naked for it. It was just a particular opportunity, and somebody saw, how can I make $1 out of this, and they ran with it. So now that's my, you know, idea on that, because that's it's just some weird folk out there. That's just what they like. That's, and it don't take much from them. Hey, you like it, I love it, whatever. Now I guess back to when you said the thing as far as the food, and the overindulgence, food is like the ultimate dopamine layup.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy because I don't think there's anything else that gives you that instant of a gratification. Mm-hmm. If you're starving, like, you almost can think of a meal, and be it at a fast food place, like, God, I want some fried chicken right now. You got, you know, several different places that's serving it. All you got to do is pull up and get it. And it might only take a piece and something, you know, fries, biscuit, whatever it may be, and that take care of you. You're satisfied. But you want to be more than satisfied, because since I'm here, yeah, let me go ahead and get that meal. And it satisfies you then. But see, that has also started a chain reaction of events. Because let's say all this transpires at about 5 o'clock in the evening. You done ate this heavy meal and it's sitting on you. You're satisfied, you're full. You can sit down and watch TV. You can, you know, read a book. You can get on this live, whatever it may be. Whatever it is, you're satiated right here. You're good. So your idea as far as, man, I need to go ahead and cook something, that way I got lunch for tomorrow. You know, I got dinner already prepared. I can go ahead and knock all that out now. Nah, man, I'll take care of that when I get home tomorrow. But then comes the next day. You don't have any lunch and you at work. So it's quicker for you just to, man, well, I run out and I go ahead and get whatever, and take care of this. I'm full now. So by the time you get home, you still hadn't cooked when you got home. So now you're repeating the cycle. You're going out eating elsewhere. So now you get to a point where you're overindulging when you didn't have to start with. But you took advantage of this, but you didn't do whatever to fool yourself. Because what you got to also understand when it comes to that overindulgence thing, inside your mind, you do have that good and bad, you know, that angel and that devil, and they both interact with each other, and they fighting. So something as simple as just the meal prep. where that good side is like, well, you need to go ahead and do this. You setting plans up to take care of yourself in the future. That present, like, man, don't worry about that. You take care of that tomorrow. You worry about that bridge, after you burn it. And really, that's what's going to wind up happening, because you're not going to do. You're going to fail, but you just fell victim to that overindulgence because it was so simple. And like I said, the marketing for all that stuff is to take advantage of you, planning on you that you're going to overindulge. You're going to have, not have that discipline to do what you need to do. So at the base of everything, you got to have that in yourself to have that discipline that this is what I'm going to do. You have to draw your own lines, because the people around you, especially the ones that's trying to get your money, they ain't drawing a line for you. You have to figure out what is acceptable to you, and what you're gonna let go. I'm good. I'm taken care of now.
I want to touch on something real. Well, I can't say it's quick, but you said something here that y'all both said something to the point where it got me thinking. Like, we as men, we have the mental choice, that we are aware of, that we have the choice that, okay, if I do overindulge, I'm overstimulating myself for whatever reason with whatever thing, we kind of know it. We know right from wrong. But what you said, Henry, was like something that's innocent is getting on the game. You now seeing something that's not really a norm, especially for us growing up. But then that take me to the fact, okay, what about what our kids can't do? Our kids doesn't have the mental capacity to know that, again, this is overindulging. Because yeah, I'm watching the game, watching Twitch, I'm playing, I'm on TikTok, I'm playing a game. They're overstimulated by that. So now they don't even recognize that, oh, I didn't even eat today. I ain't even took a shower. Now they walking around stinking. I ain't even brushed my teeth today. They don't really have, again, the power to, what they do. They don't know that they have it, I should say, to then turn that switch off and think, okay, let me go. You know what I mean? And a lot of them do. But at that certain age, and I guess I can speak for myself, I have a 7-year-old son, and I'm very aware that he likes his iPad. That boy would go to the bathroom with that thing if I let him. But as I'm watching the world that I live in, but I'm also watching him, is what made me have this thought. Like, they don't really know that this is too much because we're watching them do it. They don't know that. But for me, I guess where I'm going with this is to go just a step further of the realization that we do it. How can we now prevent it when it comes to our younger kids, our younger generation? Because like y'all all said, we have so much of the marketing part of it, the media part of it, the news part of it is everywhere. It's giving them that information right in their faces, even on the games. It's giving it to them on their iPads, their tablets. What are we doing, or what can we do to help the generation to come not have that same problem?
Bro, that's the same exact thing that I had in mind, bro. And I was gonna go as far as saying, because like my son too as well. And I always tell him, I was like, man, put that iPad down for your brain fry. And he looked at me the other day and he was like, Dad, no disrespect, but put your phone out for your brain fry. Right? So you gotta think about it, because it got people that's watching as well. So those little people is watching everything that you do. Every time you put something in your mouth that you don't need to eat, or what you need to drink, or just like with my one of my coworkers, I wanted to bring out this example. And I worked with him a long time ago, but he was telling me, man, like, he was going through divorce, and he was like, "You want to know why I was getting divorced?" I was like, "What's going on?" So you want to tell me your business? Go ahead, tell me. But he was saying that he had a problem gambling, right? So he wanted to bash on his son because his son had addicted that habit. He got that addiction as well. His son was losing his house at the same time where he was going through divorce. So the son was like, man, like, he told his son, he's like, "What are you thinking about all this?" He's like, "Dad, I watched you since I was a kid. So how can you talk about what you supposed to be teaching me something different?" Right? but I learned that from you. So you have to keep that in mind too, that you have people that's watching you, especially the little ones, man, because it's like if you keep like the other day I had to slow down because we so quick with everything is time, bro. And it's like all the time I don't have time to do this, I don't have time to do that, you know. And we all go off of time, especially at work and everything like that. So, but I'll hurry up and shove up some McDonald's in their face, man. Get that little $5 biggie bag from Wendy's, or you got the 4 for $4 and all this other stuff. But like you said, they don't have the power to reject that. It's because they can't take care of themselves right now. I'm the one that's giving that to them. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like I'm the one that can control that. Make some time and go cook something that can be a little more healthier choice for them. But is it their fault that they might have a like obesity problem, or it might have a issue that they have? But it all starts with us too, as well as the parents. So we the ones that say yeah and nay and what you can have and what you can't. You know what I mean? So that shook me a little bit, because before I even got mad at him, I didn't even get mad because I was like, damn, I can't say shit because I'm doing the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? My brain getting fried too, and he ain't lying. Sometimes I got to put my phone down because I'm like, man, my head's starting to hurt, or my eyes are like, you see that little blue spots and everything. It's time to put that damn phone down, man. And go do something else. So just maintaining and understanding that you have people that's watching as well with your habits, and just be a little more disciplined whenever it comes to doing that, man. Because like my mom used to always tell me, she was like, y'all don't know how many times I done ate Popeyes without y'all even knowing. So if you got to do that, if the urge is that bad, do it before you get to the house. You know what I'm saying? And take care of your kids that way. Like don't feed it down their throats like that too as well. Give them a chance. And that's basically the bottom line. But just like with gambling, man, I was the same way. Like with the scratch offs, man. I used to just go spend money after money after money getting these scratch offs. I hit every now and then, but you having like this false hope inside of you that like, oh, one day I'm gonna hit this lottery and I'm gonna get it. But you keep spending all your hard earned money on it, trying to get to there, while the state is getting rich and more rich and more rich, and so that just be mindful of how you move and what you do. You know what I mean? And if you want to make changes, like make the necessary changes. You know what I'm saying? Figure out what you can do, like how you can have that extra time that you say you don't have. Because I guarantee you, I guarantee you, especially for myself, like collectively, I can say like on Instagram, they can tell you how long you've been on your screen time. And they tell you. And you can go on there and go look. So that if you split that up, maybe you can cook something by then. You feel what I'm saying? It'll probably be done if it's a 4 hour window. You've been on
Yeah,
Instagram, you can have something cooked already. The crock pot take about 8 hours for some of that. That's half of the cooking right there. So
you didn't
Yeah.
cook the
just yeah,
steak.
just take care of you, man. Make better choices, better decisions, be more disciplined.
Corey, you said something earlier. As far as every day we wake up, um, we get a chance to make a choice. I remember it was hearing Jay Prince say that once before. Every day, each man wake up with two things: a choice and a chance.
Mhm.
You got a chance to make the right choice, or you have the choice to take that chance.
Mhm.
You got to be able to keep your own self in check. Because again, everything around us is marketed to prey on your lack of discipline and your need for that self-indulgence. Um, but I guess one thing we also got to keep in mind is, and knowing that we do this to a certain degree, it kind of really tiptoes into that whole mental health thing, because you overindulgence over a period of time, I think it affects your mentality. Like, take for instance, we've gotten to a point where, at one point in time there was Netflix. and that was the only provider for streaming services. Then you had other ones pop up here and there. And whereas now, I remember a time in my childhood where I grew up and there was only 3 channels on TV. You found something to watch on those 3. It wasn't necessarily a VCR, because I remember a time before VCR and definitely before DVD. So you figured out what you're going to watch, and that entertained you. Now, fast forward to now, you having several different streaming services packed with stuff to watch, and you can still flip around, can't find anything to watch, or because now they realize they've gotten people, they, as the old saying go out, kind of give you disease and charge you for the cure. Now you got to pay for it. You can have the basic model, and you go get commercials every 5 minutes, or you can pay exorbitant fee and get commercial free. And most people tend to go ahead and deal with commercials because you figure regular TV has commercials, I can deal with this. But you know how often I see people get upset when that little minute and a half commercial come on, because they cannot stand the wait, the period of time between that for that commercial come on to goes off. That's a part of that overindulgence. That instant gratification now is being broken up, and you finding fault with it. But because that's not one of the big ones like the gambling or the drugs or the overeating or the porn, we kind of turn a blind eye to it. But that is a symptom of overindulgence, and we go along unchecked. It's kind of like oh man, I hate commercials, whatever, and not realizing that you still indulging in this particular act, and you still doing it unchecked. It doesn't even register in your head that, hey, maybe this is being too much. I mean, the simple fact of now, I think I can't remember if it's on Netflix or which one it is, but they have a category where they said binge worthy, where it's not even a particular movie that you're watching. This is a series, but they kind of putting it out in front of you like, hey, if you want to burn away a whole 6-7 hours for a day, here you go. These are the top ones.
I don't even know if I heard the word binge before the whole Netflix series thing came out. I haven't. I don't remember that word like that.
I remember hearing about it probably the first time I heard it. I don't want to say ironic enough, but people that eating disorders, and you hear people about binge eating where I want to say it's bulimia, where they just ate a bunch and then went and regurgitated it out. But that was the term then, binge eating. So I haven't heard of it before, but given the climate that we're in now, we create our own vocabulary for things that's going on now.
Yeah,
we didn't have these issues 20 years ago. Like I legit remember a time where there was no YouTube that you can go to. Netflix mail movies out to you. It wasn't even so much of a streaming service. Like I remember those times. So the amount of ground that we covered in a short period of time is just ridiculous. And there's nothing there to check people on, or to make them aware that, hey, we got these things going on. Maybe you might need to keep in mind that you have a chance of going overboard with this, because it doesn't register. But as I said, I've noticed people who can't stand to see commercials. I see kids the exact same way, where everything, like they can't entertain themselves. They can't just sit and watch one thing. Is like they constantly have to be stimulated, because everything around them is constantly, they're constantly being bombarded. So to them, it's not even a matter of overindulgence, because overindulgence will mean that you started at a place and you went to the extreme. They grew up in the extreme. So this is just their norm. They don't even realize it. It's a lot right now, and I just don't think that we viewed it as such in order for us to actually first and foremost quantify how big of a problem it is, and then start really looking at solutions. It's kind of a, yeah, don't watch so much TV. You're gonna fry your brain, to your point, Jesse. But in all honesty, it is causing people to, think differently. So if that's the case, they think differently, then they will learn differently, and they will respond differently. It's kind of a stair step, and I think the stair steps are leading down versus up.
Man, yeah, man. Like like you said, man. The time that we live in is a time of indulgence, overindulgence. Like nobody knows how to just sit and watch, like you said, a TV show. And like I could, so just keep it real. I don't even, if I have to watch a show one episode week by week by week, I won't even do it. I'll wait till the whole season is done. Then I'll go back and then I'll start watching it. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorite shows used to be that show Heroes. Used to come on NBC, but the youngsters, the people that figured out that they had a special ability, and they were going to save the world and all that. Like that was my joint. You know what I mean? But like every week, you had to wait for a new episode. There was no binge watching. You couldn't, because like you said, Netflix now they'll put out the whole season right now, so you can watch it all. Back then, it was a matter of week by week, you had to watch it on that day, and then wait the next week to watch the next episode. And that was like torture. Like, oh man, I gotta wait till next week. Oh, I can't wait. But I mean, we did. You waited because, like I said, that's how it was given to you. But now that it's given to us in batch form and all right now, I can't. How many people? I mean, you might watch 3 or 4 episodes in one sitting, and then okay, that's enough for right now, and then I'll watch the rest tomorrow or whatever. But you're gonna pound like 3 or 4 of them episodes at one sitting. You ain't just gonna watch one episode at a time. Why would you? Right? Because it's given to you all right now. You can watch all of it right now. And a lot of people will sit and watch that whole 10 episode, 12 episode, whatever, 1, 2 season in one sitting. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, it just reminds me of that like, what was that? What song was that? Bruno Mars, that today I don't, the lazy song, right? Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to lay in my bed. Don't even pick up the phone. Leave the answer after the talk. I don't feel like doing. And what are you doing? You're probably sit up binge watching some Netflix. You binge watching some TV. You overindulging in some kind of food. You know what I mean? Like overindulgent to the max, right? Because it's like that's the time that we live in, is a time of overindulgence where, like I said at the beginning, if you want something, you can have it all right now. Boom, here, have it. Like you said, Hen, you go to a fast food spot, you might be good with just one piece of chicken, some fries and whatever. Nah, I want that 5-piece meal. I want give me all the sauces, give me all the, you know what I mean? I need it all. And then when you that's the great, when you finish it, so you take it home and you put it down, and and you like you said, it's just sitting on you. Then you realize, like, damn, I didn't need all that. I didn't even need all that. But by that point, it's too late. It's already you're done now. And that's the problem when it comes to overindulging. Like, you realize when it's too late that you didn't even need to do all that. Even like I said, even with me and these prepped meals that I get, right? Like, they're kind of small. They're kind of smaller, but it's like if I eat one, because I got more than the first couple of weeks, I got more than I should have. I ordered more meals than I should have because I felt like, oh, these joints are small. I'm gonna need like 2 at a time. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna be one ain't gonna do me right. I'm gonna need at least 2. But what I realize is if I eat one, let it settle for a good 15, 20 minutes, I'm good. I might need maybe a little, snack or whatever, something small maybe after that, but I don't need to eat a whole nother entire meal, right? Like that's overindulgence. So it's like if you allow yourself that time and say, you know what, let me just I'll eat this and then let it settle 15, 20 minutes and see how I feel, as opposed to nope, I'm cooking up 2 meals right now, boom, 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 and then they're already prepped, so you gonna eat them both right then and there. But if you take that one, eat it, chill for a good 15, 20 minutes, you'll probably be good to go and won't need nothing else. Maybe something small, like I said, maybe a little snack or whatever, but not an entire a whole additional meal, right? So it's just to the best way the only way that you can combat overindulgence is discipline. That self-discipline, that inner discipline that tells you like, okay, and it's almost like you got to do it before you even start, before you even tap into doing it, because once you already in it, it's gonna be difficult, right? If you haven't at least planted that seed before you start doing something that like I said, you have a can have cause I have an addictive personality. I'm just gonna because that's also what I want to say. I have an addictive personality, so I know if I like if I see something that I like, I want more of it. I want more of it. Might be food. It might be alcohol. I like buying gear. You know what I'm saying? I like being fresh. I like, you know what I'm saying? So it's an addictive personality type thing. So I have to keep my shit, I have to keep it intact because I know I can really go overboard if I allow myself to. So I have to tell myself mentally, like, okay, this is all you need. Make sure that you stick to this and don't go past that. And then you have to allow yourself to stick to that, to not honor something that you have, like a promise that you've made to yourself, or you know what I mean, like when you told yourself you're not going to do something and you end up going overboard that, it's like that's not a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like it's it happens sometime, but you have to curb that back. You have to be like, okay, you can't do this. You've told yourself you're only going to stick to this, so make sure you stick to this. There'll be times that I got a thing for watches. Like I said, addictive personality. Period. Like especially gear. Like if I see a pair of shoes and I know they got a set of them, like they got them in different colors, I want all the colors. You know what I'm saying? A dope watch. If I see a dope watch and I know they got different, I want all of them. But do I need them? No, I don't. So I gotta tell myself I'll be out. It's like I see the one. It's like, oh, I want that shit so bad. I don't got that style. I got a similar color, but I don't got that style of watch. It's different style. It's the dial, the bezel is different. You know what I'm saying? But I want the watch. You know what? I didn't bring the credit card on me that I wanted to put it on. So I'm not gonna get it. But if it's here next time I come, or whatever. But then by that time, it's like the feeling is kind of wore off. You know what I mean? It's like I'm good. I'm good. You feel me? So you got to be willing to tell yourself and just to be real. Like, okay, nah, you don't need that shit. You don't need it right now. You want it, but do you absolutely need it? No, you don't. You know, will you be okay without it? You gotta be willing to have these conversations with yourself, right? Because that's at the end of the day, you're all you got. So you got to be willing to have these conversations with yourself about these certain situations and know that, okay, nah, you don't need it. Can you be, yep, you'll be all right. Okay, bet. Back away from it. Back slowly away from the jewelry case and turn around. Right. You know what I mean? Like, so you just gotta be willing to have that, like I said, have that talk with yourself. And because if you can't, you're going to fall victim every time. If you don't have the power to have that conversation with you, because it goes back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago, you know, just that ability to control your thoughts and not let your thoughts control you. If you can't have that conversation with yourself, you are going to be in trouble every time. I can only imagine what these dudes be going through on these OnlyFans accounts. Right? Real talk. I mean, because we men, man, like we are naturally drawn to sexy women, right? We are naturally drawn to them. So have these chicks be on their social media accounts and they got their the link is in the profile. Right? You see one picture of them, one video of them, and you know that link is in their profile, and you got a problem with overindulging in porn and twerk videos and all that kind of shit, but you see that link in the profile, how difficult is it going to be for you to say no? You're not going to spend this $6.99 on the and see what she got on her profile. That's just going to be difficult. But that's not what that's not a problem for me. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, I can only imagine what it's like for $6.6 billion these women made on OnlyFans accounts. That was 2023. We don't even know what it was like back in the pandemic when it was all locked down, 2020, 2021. Like when cats got them stimulus checks, when unemployment was they was kicking out extra unemployment just because. Like we don't even know what them numbers are. Like I can only imagine, bro. But like I said, that's a part of you. Like I said, if you can't have that conversation with yourself, you are going to fail every time. So you got to be able to say, you know what? Nah, I don't need this. I'm not going to do it. Period. Got to do it. So man, it's wild. We live. That's like you said. That's the world we live in, man. America is the place for gluttony, the place for greed, the place of overindulgence, excess. Excess. That's the word right there. You said earlier. Excess. America is excess.
Jay, you was about to say something?
No, that was it.
Okay. Okay. I want to fuck with y'all a little bit, man. And you kind of touched on it at the end with what you just said, Ty. You said, well, you touched on it at the beginning, but the whole OnlyFans thing is overindulgence of a certain type of content to whatever degree it is. Rather it be porn, rather it be feet fetishes, whatever. I don't know. I've never been on there. But in that same understanding of that type of indulgence, do y'all feel that as men, even in relationships, that we can overindulge into our spouses and vice versa? Can our spouses overindulge into their spouses, which will be us, to the point where because we have now become a companionship, because we now have partnership and we have this bond, do y'all feel if that said person, A or B, woman or male, feels like hey, I got too much of you, or is that a problem? One, and then like, have y'all ever had that feeling like I need to pull back from y'all? You feel me? Because again, if it's a mental addiction, if it's a health condition, whatever the case may be, because again, we're indulging into too much of something, right? There's no moderation. But now we have a spouse, and now you feel like you're getting tired of her. Why are you getting tired of her? Are you around this woman too much? Are we now indulging into our spouses too much? And we're overstimulating them? What y'all think?
I'm gonna say that's why it's important to, like, nowadays we call it me time. You get what I'm saying? It's important to have that self day, that time for yourself, what you like to do, because you can't ultimately make somebody else happy if you're not happy. And if you're dying inside, you got to realize, like, hey, it's a very tough situation because, you know, coming from the streets and coming from learning from OGs and, having multiple women at a time and all this other stuff that goes on, you have to, like, you had to train, like I had to train myself to where I'm at now. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like one side of thinking is something that you will always have. And it's like all the time you have to realize, like, hey, like, you have to have time for yourself, bro. You got to figure out what you want, and that's the only way you're gonna make that other person happy. Now, if you do, like, you can fall into, like, taking care of that person a lot, and then sometimes you like, oh, I didn't even take care of myself today. You get what I'm saying? So that can be a problem too as well, because it can overwhelm you, because if you look at it too deep, you'd be like, man, like, I take care of that person more than I take care of myself. And some people don't recognize that because you just so doing the act of doing. So sometimes, like, a lot of times, I I would, like, cook dinner, or I would go, wash the clothes, just for that. Like, I could tell whenever she gets to that point where it's like she done had enough. Like, it's like, I need a break from everything, everybody. She start getting irritated, everything like that. So I understand that, and I'll be like, hey, go get your nails done. Go do this. Go do that. You need that me time for yourself, because I know you're tired of me. Because it's vice versa. It's normal, dog. It's okay. Y'all two people. Y'all see each other every day. Y'all talk every day, all day. And sometimes you could be smothering a person and don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? So just realize, I would say, pay attention to actions, bro. Pay attention to their movements. Like I said, like, I know before she even opened her mouth, she's tired of doing X, Y, and Z. Okay, I see it, I notice it. So let me go ahead and take care of that, so I don't have no hassle in my castle. Feel what I'm saying? So that's pretty
No,
much how I was like.
that overstimulation, right back at it again. You on mute, Ty?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. Like, um, it's definitely possible, because you're if you especially if you're really feeling, what I mean, like, if you are really into your partner, you can overindulge, you know, and it could be to the point where it's not healthy, right? Because if you stop spending time with your peoples, if you stop, doing things that's good for you on a personal level, and putting all your energy and all your time and effort and everything into your partner without taking care of yourself, that could be too much of a burden on them, in a sense, right? Like, it could be too much for them to handle, because you're losing yourself, and that end, it's hard. It's not beneficial for you, but it's like, if you're putting too much into your partner, you could really lose yourself. So it's highly important to make sure that you keep that monitored. That you, because I know me, man. When I get into it, when I get into a relationship and I'm really feeling something, like they'll get most of my time. But rightfully, I mean, it's like you kind of do. That's part of the purpose of getting into a relationship with someone, right? Like you find someone that you can that you want to spend your time with, that you want to be around all the time. But on the inverse of that,
And before you keep,
go ahead.
hold on, Todd, real quick. I just want to drop a quick gem because it's crazy. When you spend a lot of your time with yourself, you find it, to be respectable and you love it and you enjoy it. And when you want to spend your time with her, it's because you appreciate her presence with you. And then what I thought of is crazy is if you take the why off of your, it's our time. That's crazy. And now we can spend our time together. But that's all I wanted to say.
No, you're right. You're right.
Nine,
But
nine,
she
but keep
becomes your
going.
why, though, in a sense, right? She becomes your why. But if you take that why
Wow.
off, it's our time, right? You know what I mean? So I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those conundrum type deals, right? Like you want to make sure, and then on the flip side of that as well, to make sure that she's not, well, your partner period is not taking you for granted. You want to make sure that you are still doing stuff on your own, doing stuff with your peoples, doing stuff, because that has a tendency of happening as well, because they can take you for granted because you're there too much, you're there all the time. It's like the whole saying, we're either going to be broke or bored, right? Like broke because it's like, if if we're together all the time and we're spending all our time together, no, let's say, no, I didn't mean broke or bored, broke or busy, broke or busy, because if I'm spending all my time with you, what am I doing to create anything to make sure that we don't have to work all the time? Or what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, so if I'm spending all my time with you, where's the bag coming from? The bag got to come from somewhere, right? But on the flip side of that, it's like, if you want to be broke, we're gonna have to be busy. So we got to find the time to take out and say, okay, boom, yeah, it might feel a little unorthodox or whatever, but you gotta pick your choice. Like you either want me up under you all the time, or I'm gonna be hit, doing what I got to make sure that the family's straight. And then we got to make sure that we take that time out and say, okay, we're gonna choose this time to spend together. We're gonna choose this time to spend together, right? Because that's where the double-edged sword comes from. Because it's if you're always up under each other, you're gonna take each other for granted. If you're always busy, you're gonna lack appreciation for that person. So you gotta be able to find that. Okay, I know we've been busy a lot this past week. Okay, well, how about today? You ride with me when I'm hitting these errands, while I'm hitting, taking care of stuff. Just roll with me. Women love that, bro. Women love that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if she down for you, if she really down for you, she
Yep.
love that. She
I
love
was just
that.
about to say that.
What they
Yep, she
call it,
rocking
that's
with you.
the passenger princess, right? They love that shit. You know?
Yeah, that's it.
So it's like, because in between you doing stuff, you're gonna be able to, let's go get something to eat. You know what I mean? Let's go hit this park real quick. Let's go whatever. Because she just want to be right there. That's all. A lot of times she just want to be right there. And of course, it don't got to be every time, because that's when it becomes, taken for granted as well. But at least every so often, like, you know what? I know I've been busy a lot these past few weeks. Why don't you come roll with me? You know? So yeah, man, it's definitely one of those things that you gotta keep an even balance to. But you can definitely overindulge in your spouse, and to the point where it might not be healthy. So you got to make sure that you recognize that energy and say, okay, let me stop. Let me make sure that I'm doing stuff on my own. Let me make sure I'm doing certain things. Let me go spend some time, kick with my boys or whatever. Let me go watch some football, whatever. That way it's not being um, just taken for granted. So, yeah,
For real.
definitely possible.
Yeah. I think each couple, both parties, as far as a couple, that's the reason why you got together to, learn one another, to share life together, and you pretty much spend, if it gets to the point of marriage, and hopefully it goes to longevity, you're going through life learning how to build a life with somebody else. But in that, I think it's healthy in the relationship for you to not overindulge. So for you to each have, some interests aside from the other person. Because I mean, you're in a relationship. Of course, all your efforts going to be into, making the family dynamic work, the financial, the the rearing of kids, uh, decision making, that everything that goes to a family. I think you have so much that goes into that you already going to be participating all the time. That yeah, she may need times where she goes out with the girls and have lunch or dinner, or she goes to whatever self care may be, and what all that entails, be it hair done, nails, whatever. She has her own thing that's separate from me, and I the same. There may be some things where I go and hang out at the barbershop, and clearly I ain't gonna be there long, but it's just the fact of the matter of having that male camaraderie, a separate from my mate, so that once we do converge back, we have different stories to tell. We have different things to talk about, different ideas. All those things kind of all play into that. But and not to knock anybody that's around their mate like that all the time, because there's some couples that's what they do and that works for them. I don't necessarily understand it, but it's not from my vantage point to be able to understand how that dynamic works in their relationship. I just know in mind I guess in my mind, I kind of think about like the movie Inception, where each person had their own little thing.
Yep.
Nobody else could
Yep.
touch it. That was just theirs.
Yep.
That's what I kind of look at it as. And it could very well be, like I said earlier, as far as playing the games, it could be something stupid. I'm not really even doing it, but the simple fact of the matter is, while we're here, I'm not out anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I'm not communicating with anybody else. I'm just doing something that's filling that little void in me. And she's fine with it because it's not hurting us. It's just my distraction from reality for, just a little bit. Hers, it could very well be binge watching whatever show it could be. But it's just a matter of us each having our own separate thing that we do outside of our relationship that's not hurting our relationship, but it's giving just that little bit of, breath of fresh air that we don't, really experience so much because we're in a relationship. We all in the same house. Clearly, she can't decide to go out for bottomless margaritas at 5 o'clock and decide to stroll back in the house 3 o'clock in the morning. That ain't gonna happen. And the same thing on my side is not gonna be the same thing. So everything has to be done in moderation and with respect. But there is also the respect of you have this thing that helps you do what you do, throughout the rest of the week. That kind of gives you a chance to let your hair down, and it's the same thing. But it's not harming our relationship. So even though we're in the relationship and we experience each other that much, I can see where it can be overindulgence when you're constantly under each other because at some point both of you heard the same stories over and over, so then it kind of gets snippy. Yeah, I heard that last week. You told me that already. That deal. Fine, I ain't gonna tell you nothing else. Then it has a chance to escalate. All you got to do is kind of get at each other hair for a little bit. It's that balance that each relationship needs to, you go out, whatever, come back. Hey, this such happened when I was out. You got something to conversate about. You actually got a chance to miss one another. I just don't agree with the idea of the constantly being around each other all the time like that. Because just in my mind, it just seems like it has a potential to cause more, snippiness than the not. And really, at the end of the day, what does it hurt?
I think I kind of just to wrap that part of it up, and because y'all said some shit, and I don't even want to I don't really want to add to it because I'm gonna let y'all have that smoke because y'all definitely dropped the bomb. But what it sounds like, at least from my perspective, the common denominator, whether it be said relationship, whether it's yourself or your kids, or again, even for the ladies on the other side of the spectrum, I think the common denominator is that we should always keep in mind that we need to know, we get to know ourselves some more because throughout that process of everything that we said, if I'm, learning, because again, we're growing things. We planted seeds in us individually, and in this situation, we planted a seed in our missus or our kid's mother to now create a kid. So, although you may be in a relationship, you may be married, still find time to take care of yourself and find out who you are, because as a ever evolving people in person, things will change. So if you continue to get to know yourself, your spouse continue to get to know herself, your kids, you help them continue to learn themselves as y'all all grow. And as all y'all evolve, y'all now learning like, okay, well, I was whipping my kid back in the day because I didn't know that was a trauma bond passing from my mom to me. But now that I'm with my kids, now I want to grow with them and now show them love on a different level because love shouldn't come with pain. I want to show them that you're growing with your child. Now, because I've been with my husband for 20 years, when I met him, I was 23. Now I'm 43. We both have changed. But if I take that personal time, that me time to know myself more, I can now help him or help her evolve with me to get to know me better, and so on and so on. So I think that, again, just my perspective to kind of wrap all of what we said up, I think the common denominator is to always take that time out to get to know yourself as we, continue to grow.
Yeah, and know your limits, like you said, man. Like kind of speaking, adding truth to power to that power, man. Like you got to know your limits. You got to know when too much is too for you, because it's all different. It's different for everybody, right? Like, so you got to know when. Okay, that's it. I got it. That's enough of that. Um, and knowing your limits is highly important on all fronts. When we speak about overindulging, knowing your limits is the key, and being able to have discipline within those limits and exercise that discipline as you should. Um, yeah, highly key factors, you know. So make sure you know your limits.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, gentlemen, man. Once again,
Yeah, man.
got the got the four brothers back. You know what I'm saying? Back again.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is a good topic, man. Because a lot of people don't think about it, right? A lot of people don't think about because we live in such a society where we are in sensory overload every day that it's become a normalcy. It's become normal, right? Just to sit and binge 10 episodes of one show in one sitting, you know, to eat a whole bucket of ice cream in one sitting, you know, to eat a 5-piece meal, you know what I mean? To go buy hundreds of dollars worth of clothes and to subscribe to 10 OnlyFans accounts in one, you know, everything that we talked about. Like it's become normal. But it's important to sit back and be like, nah, that's not, I've had enough. That's enough, man. That's enough for today. Let me bag back and you know, it's like you'll see that meme sometime when it's like, you know what, that's enough internet for me today. Like I've seen I've seen enough. You know, you might see something crazy on the internet. It's like, you know what, that's enough internet for me today, man. Like I'm clocking out because I can't handle no more. You know, you got to be able to know your limits when it comes to any and everything in life. So, yeah, yeah, man.
Word up.
Whew. Told y'all, we don't play, man. You know, we we don't play when it's time to come with the heavy, with the heat. Y'all know what it is. Y'all you been here. You've been here. You know, tell a friend to tell a friend. Come on. You know, like what are we talking about? But yeah, this is definitely a good discussion, and I think a lot of people needed to hear this too. I think a lot of people need to hear this because they might not have realized that they overindulged too much. So now hearing this topic, this conversation might help them reel it back. You know, so that's what we do. That's what we're here for. You know, accountability. Um, each one teach one, each one reach one. Right. So yeah, we're gonna keep doing what we do. And like I said, we just continue to appreciate, you know, like I said, any and every comment, any and every, you know, video watch, everything. So we're gonna keep doing what we do by bringing you the good topics, the good conversations, things that you can think about. You know, they say things that make you go, we're gonna bring those to you. We're gonna bring those to you. So yeah, that's all for today. You guys got anything else you want to wrap up with?
Know thyself.
Know thyself.
That's it.
Hundo.
Know thyself.
Hundo.
It's complex for you.
Know thyself. Yeah, man. That's it right there. What about you, Han? What about you, Jess?
Nah, man, it was a great live once again, man. It's one of them mind thinkers that you have to think and just sit back and think about, let it all soak in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Honey.
man.
Definitely agree with that. Definitely, you could take something from this and give it a lot of thought. Kind of do some self-examination and see where you, or rather, how you weigh up on the scale.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, with that being said, I know we went a little longer this time, but we had to give y'all a little bit extra. We
Yeah.
had to give y'all a little bit extra because like I said, we all fought back, and like I said, we had to make sure that y'all heard exactly what we were saying. You know what I'm saying? So we had to give y'all a little bit extra today. You know, we it just felt right. It just felt right. You know what I mean? We had to give y'all a little bit extra today. So yeah, man, another fabulous show, another fabulous talk, fellas. Always good to get everybody in and make sure that that we speak what had to be spoke, right? So on behalf of Hen, Complex Key, and Jay Hunter, it's the Mindset King, and we signing off. Bro Foundation.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.